And so here I am again in the hanged man space and in the astrological space of the in-between of two eclipses. So I don't know if it's the eclipse energy or if it is, just this part of my life that happens to coincide with the eclipse energy. I don't know about that because this is, like I said, the first time that I'm experiencing the eclipse energy in correlation with my own life events. This is the first time that I'm conscious of being in the eclipse energy and having this big sort of transition going on in my life. So the reason that I'm coming to you and sharing is in the hopes that my message will resonate for those who are also in this space and to help you move through this space with greater grace, greater ease, greater intention for creating, being a co-creator of what that new energy is that's calling you forward. It's calling to you. It's a future self that's calling you into its existence. So we get to determine in that future space where we're going to direct our ship. And that gets determined, or that gets partially created in the intention of this voidal space that we're in now, or that I'm in now. So what is this voidal space? The Hanged Man card. This is about, and you know what? I just thought to show you a representation of the Hanged Man card. So I'm going to pause this video for 1 second. I'm going to go grab some tarot cards so I can show you what this looks like. Okay, I'll be right back. Hopefully you'll be able to see these Hanged Man cards. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Let's see. There's the Hanged Man. Beautiful, right? So she's hanging upside down and she's looking at all these signs and symbols in the water below her, the water representing emotions, right? So all of the currents of our emotions, past, present, future. But the light is shining behind her, right? Guiding her, illuminating her mind, illuminating her mental body. Yeah. Here's another one, another Hanged Man card. Again, with this one, there's this golden disc behind him, this golden disc of illumination. And this one here, this is from the Mother Peace Tarot deck, really cool deck, the Hanged Man. And this is very more traditional, where the person is hanging upside down, tied to a tree. Usually there's coins or something falling out of their pockets. And it really just represents this state of being in suspension between worlds, between death and rebirth. And so being in this space of in between is about introspection. So as I was sharing earlier, I've had many clients come to me immediately after something really traumatic has happened to them, a very intense closing of one door, ending of a chapter, and they come to me and they don't know what they're going to do next. They don't know what they're going to do next. And their mind is trying to figure out, what are the next steps? What are the next steps? What are the next steps? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? And the mind wants to rush us forward into that next thing and wants to prepare us for that next thing and wants to make sure and protect us from anything else bad happening. Okay, so that's what the mind is doing with its overactive, wants to do next, what's to do next, what's to do next. And I guarantee you this is happening within my own mind, 100%. I'm just reminding it over and over that you're moving, you're taking one step at a time, you're moving in the right direction. There is this very palpable energetic in my life right now. I can literally feel this space in my body, in my being, and in the circumstances of my life. It feels like a stall, like it feels like a suspension. It feels like everything that I'm moving towards is in this state of suspension. It's not true. It's not true. It's just that it's moving slowly. There's no, I can't get to the end yet. I'm not reaping the fruits of the labor yet. That's still on the other side of this door. So what to do in this space, in this voidal energy space, is it's not about doing, but it's about being, right? So we have to, in this energetic space between the two doors, the closing of one and the opening of another, it's about relaxing into the space and relaxing into this creation of greater trust that you have with the universe, with the divine, trusting that even though that one door that's closed or closing, it may be painful to have the end of something, the end of a chapter, the end of a relationship, the end of a career, the end of a job. That may be painful. But if we rest in the in-between space and we grieve the death of what's just ended, we allow for our emotions of grief to come up, but we also cultivate trust in the knowing that the next thing coming towards us will serve our next becoming, our next growth, our next expression of who we are, our greater expression of the divinity within us, or our greater receiving of our heart's fulfillment. Because the closing of this door, whether we chose it or we didn't choose it, there is a knowingness in your soul and your spirit that this closing is because the energy in this environment, in this relationship, in this career or job or home, could be that you're selling your house or you need to move out of your living conditions. But the energy of this space, whatever it is that's closing, whatever it is that's dying, whatever that's passing away or passing out of the life, has served its purpose to bring you to where you are now. But it doesn't serve the next leg of your becoming. So in the in-between space, yes, as a human being with feelings and emotions, we are going to have the experience of loss. We're going to have grief. We're going to have perhaps it's experiences of abandonment, but this in-between space is our capsule, our little time capsule to allow whatever those repressed or suppressed emotions are, whatever this past experience was meant to teach us. It's about really going inside and investigating, okay, what are the behaviors? What are the choices that created this experience and the end of this experience, the completion of this experience? What is it inside of me that created this experience and the ending of this experience? And if it's not a big deal, like let's say, for instance, and this is actually one of my threads right now. One of the threads that I'm experiencing is this decision to sell the house that I've been living in for about 15 years now, probably more than that. And so this is a thread. So in that thread, right, of holding this space where I haven't sold the house yet, I've just made the decision, and I'm not sure what's coming up next, but definitely a different living situation, right? But in this in-between space of deciding and putting it on the market and deciding and selling and then moving into this next space, what has to happen here for me on a physical level is I have to go through all of my stuff, my physical stuff, which I've started to do. And it is not easy. I have a crate of CDs from 20 years ago that were like my CDs when I was in my 20s and early 30s. And I pulled them out and I'm like, I'm never going to use these again. I should just put them outside for someone to have for free. But I have to go through them. So I have to go through them. And in going through them, I'm finding all of this attachment to these CDs, to this music that I used to listen to. And I don't even have a CD player anymore. So what am I going to do with this? But that's what this in-between space is about. And I'm talking about physical stuff now, but also emotional stuff, right? So it's about emotional behavior. So let's talk about the completion of one relationship. The completion, whether it be a lover or a parent or a sibling or a friend, right? Or a life partner. The completion of that relationship, whether it be through a mutual ending or sudden ending, or whether it be through a physical death, right? So we go into that in-between space whenever we end a relationship. We go into the in-between space and we start to reflect. What did I do right in this relationship? What did I really enjoy in this relationship? What would I like to bring with me into the next relationship or into the next phase of my life? And what were the behaviors of mine that I didn't like about myself, or the behaviors of the other, how that made me feel, how I compromised in situations where maybe I shouldn't have compromised? What kinds of behaviors, what kinds of emotions did I express in that relationship that I did not feel were serving my highest good or my highest growth?